Hi there, it's Kevin from RogueDeckBuilder.com here with kind of a special edition of the Rogue Roundup. I hope you don't mind that I am not editing this video at all. I'm just kind of taping a internet browser, and I am just going to go through some of the cards. I am having a conversation here with my buddy Morton. Morton is my right-hand man here at RogueDeckBuilder.com. We got on the conversation of speculation. I've kind of been out of the ball game of speculating now for months now, since I moved from Salt Lake City, a very urban area, to a very rural area in the middle of nowhere, Utah. I have really no one to play Paper Magic with, so I haven't speculated. So this is going to be like a special edition called MTGO Speculation. And for this, I'm using the website MTGGoldfish.com. Not sponsored by them, so don't think I'm trying to peddle there. I love MTG Goldfish. It's basically my favorite website as far as it comes to pricing. And they've added paper, which is really cool too. So I don't know exactly. Okay, so they use live TCG player prices. Not the biggest fan of TCG player prices because a lot of times, like you can see here, lightly played are put into the same. Even damage cards are kind of put into the same quantitative formula of when they decide what the price is going to be. So I'm not the biggest fan of TCG Player. It's a great website and whatnot, but for going off of what the actual price of a card is. So anyway, but for MTG Goldfish, they use the two prices they use is the MTG Traders, their bots, and Supernova bots, maybe? I can't remember. It uses two huge. Oh yeah, there we go. They're right here. It says right here. Card bot, MTGO Traders, and Supernova bots is what they average the prices with. And MTGO Traders is kind of like the Star City Games of the MTGO world. It kind of defines the prices of MTGO a lot of times. When they change their price, everyone follows suit. So anyway, this is a special edition of I want to talk about rotation and why it's such a great time to pick up cards. Everyone's talking about sell, sell, sell. I'm under the impression it's buy, buy, buy time. And the cool thing about MTGO Goldfish is it kind of weeds out the cards that are under a ticket. And yes, there's definitely some cards that I have personally started picking up that are under a ticket. I like to actually get under a ticket, but this is a good way to actually see what cards are actually, being traded and played heavily. And so I'm just going to go down my personal list of what I'm investing in and what are very safe investments in rotation, how to kind of keep your if you're worried about losing value, what cards you can invest in right now that is guaranteed to keep your value. And I guess I'll talk about that. And I want to talk about bulk Mythics. Bulk Mythics are a very safe investment on MTGO because of redemptions. You need one per redemption, and eventually these bulk Mythics, if we look at it in Innistrad, the lowest bulk Mythic is 74 cents with Reaper of the Abyss. And that should continue to slowly increase as more and more Innistrad are being redeemed and less Reaper of the Abyss are available. I guess what we can do is we can look at let's see here. We can go to the modern and just look at Scars of Mirrodin, because I think you can still redeem Scars of Mirrodin. And I guess it's got Ratchet. Okay, that's not a mythic. Let's see. So the lowest mythic on Scars of Mirrodin is going to be, it doesn't separate them with mythics and whatnot, is Quicksilver Gargantuan at a ticket, Multail Massacre at a ticket. Yeah, so it's a ticket. A ticket's where they kind of bottom out at before they. And same thing with, I guess, Glissa was such a promo, though. That's why in Mirrodin Besieged, everyone had a gazillion Glissas because she was the pre-release card. Other than that, yeah, you see Predator's Council at 89 cents. Here of Oxford Ridge, I guess at 65. No one really redeems Mirrodin Besieged, though, because as you can see, there are 0 cards that are worth anything besides Tezzeret, Sword of Feast and Famine. And that's it. So it's a very, very low redeem set. But anyway, let's just talk about, I guess, cards that are still in the redemption. What people are still going to be redeeming is Innistrad for quite a while, because it has some very, very high-priced cards in Paper Magic that are very low-priced in the, like Snapcaster Mage. That's a good one. It's only 5 tickets here on MTGO, 5 to 6 tickets. And it's 30 tickets, I believe, on Paper Magic. So a lot of people, they target cards like this so they can always just redeem them and gain the value just on the Snapcasters and whatnot. So they need a Mythic to do that. And already the Mythic prices are, like I said, Reaper from Abyss is the lowest one at 0.74. Sees absolutely 0 play, and it won't go down from that. It will continue. It will probably settle around a ticket or something. And I still think Innistrad's going to be a highly, highly redeemed set. Another set I think is going to continue to be highly redeemed because of the shock lands and cards like Abrupt Decay and Deathrite Shaman is Return to Ravnica. It's still only a 5-ticket redemption price or $5 redemption price. They've upped Gatecrash and Beyond to a $25 redemption price. That means every set you redeem is going to cost you a $25 like handling charge, but Return to Ravnica is not. And so I still think that's going to continue to be redeemed a lot. And I think that's why Utvara Hellkite, if you just need to hold value, I'm not saying Utvara Hellkite is going to go up, but you need a safe target to throw all of your tickets in to guarantee that you're not going to lose value on cards that are rotating out, like to keep your overall portfolio as high as possible. You can definitely invest in Utvara Hellkite. It is the safest target in the entire world. It absolutely will not go down from 0.53. That is the bottom for a Mythic. People are going to need it for redemption. In my opinion, it'll go up to the 0.85, 0.75, 0.85 range. So you actually get a bit of value out of it if you can sell it at that. That's the whole point. This is the bot price. Sometimes you can't sell it back to the bots for this price. But I really think Utvara Hellkite. I made a killing off of M13, off of one of the Mythics. It was one of the Mythics here, like Elder Scale Worm. No, it wasn't that one. There was a Mythic, Vampire Nocturnus. That's the one I made a killing off of. I bought these way back in the day when they were going for like 0.5 tickets. You can see the history price here when M13 was being. Oh, I guess maybe I'm lying here because maybe it wasn't Vampire Nocturnus because 1.84 is the lowest it's been. There's definitely an M13 Mythic that I just bought a ton of and then sold them all back to the same bot that I bought them from, like, 4 weeks later. And it was just one of those funny moments where I want to say, is there a red one? I think there was a World. Isn't there like World something? World Fire M13. I don't know why this one's not on, because it's going for 0.39 now. Wow. But I bought it like way back when it was being drafted, and then you can see it hit like 1.6 when people wanted Thunder Maws. Yeah, and I bought these at like 0.5 a piece and sold them back to the exact same bot for 1.6 when redemptions got really big. But see, there's another card that you possibly could invest in, but I really don't think M13 is going to be a very redeemed set. There's really nothing in it that people are really going to want to redeem. So anyway, so back to the redemptions before I ramble off. I think Utvara Hellkite is a very safe Mythic at 0.53, but another extremely safe Mythic that actually could see play is Council of Absolute. It's another 0.53 card, and it's not like a dead card. You might see this card. It's not horrible. You get to name a card, and your opponents can't cast a card, and then you can cast that same card with. I mean, it's a Meddling Mage for 4 mana. I mean, it is a little bit awkward, but it's I guess you can't name a creature either. But I mean, you can name in the mirror matches, if let's say Sphinx's Revelation decks do become big, you bust this guy out, and your opponent can't cast it. And I can see this seeing some fringe play. Let's see if it sees any play right now. The great thing about MTGO is it shows that it shows all the decks, 4-0 and 3-1 decks that have played it. And there you go. There's 5 decks that 4-1 or 3-1 this week that use it, which is the 4-color pod, which is the Kiki Jiki pod. And so they do use a 1-of copy of Council of Absolute to really probably screw certain opponents out, like combo decks out. And yeah, so I mean, they get out pretty quick with pod. So it's not a dead card. It's definitely something that can see play. It did have an overall high price of 6, so people did have some faith in this card, and somehow, somewhere could see some play. So 0.53 is way too low for this card. It's a safe investment if you want to throw all your tickets. If your cards are on a free fall right now and you want to throw your tickets into something safe, there's Council of Absolute. So that's the role that Mythics play in MTGO. Let's go to my picks. Let's go for, well, first start with Innistrad. And then we'll work our way in what cards you should actually invest in Innistrad. And then we'll work our way over to Return to Ravnica cards that I think are a great pickup. The cards that I really think in Innistrad that are very great pickups, one is Vault of the Archangel, and the other is Gavin Township. Gavin Township right now I think is 0.35, and Vault of the Archangel is 0.59. The reason why I like these in paper as well. I mean, what's the paper price of Vault of the Archangel? It's 2.2. It probably will go down a little bit more for paper. I'd start investing in it when it does hit that bulk rare price, which it probably will when people start dumping their cards. Because as you can see, this is actually seeing some modern play, but this is also a heavy Commander played card. Basically, any white-black deck plays this in Commander. And it does, like I said, see some modern, sees some white-black tokens play. It sees some Death and Taxes play, sees some Gifts Reanimator play. So it's not a dead. It's not an absolute obsolete card. I think it will go up from. You might actually want it to go down just a little bit before you start picking up these Vault of the Archangels. And Gavin Township, I believe, is at 0.35, and it's seeing play in Pod and people are really talking about how powerful it is in Pod. So I think that Gavin Township is definitely a card you should pick up. Those are my Innistrad and the Dark Ascension picks. I'll talk about Paper Magic, because Paper Magic I have a lot of other targets that I think are good. The other Innistrad card, of course, that I'm picking up, and which is already starting to see an increase, and maybe just due to the fact that I bought 300 of these copies, and just to prove it, I'll show you here. Let's there's my, just bought some cards from a bot here. Just bought some Council of Absolute here. Oops, we don't want to look there. I want to look at my collection. Come on. Lagging pretty bad here. Stony Silence. I'm going to search for my Stony Silence, and just to say I'm practicing what I preach, 257 copies of Stony Silence. I bought these at around 0.6 to 0.1 a ticket, and they are now going for 0.2 tickets, and look at that. Woo! Look at that spike. And that could just be because of me. I bought a lot from card bots and Supernova bots, so they saw that 257 Stony Silences were being bought, and they probably adjusted from this point. I actually bought them here at the 0.6. Well, I think it was this one a couple weeks ago. That's when I started buying them, and I started buying them here as well. Which was like, you could find them for like like I said, 0.6 to 0.1, and now they're up to 0.2. A lot of bots, like a lot of the card mech bots, are selling them for 0.4 right now and whatnot. So I like this Stony Silence because look at this. You can see all the decks that this is being played in Modern, and a good card to compare this to is Torpor Orb, because it's the same. It plays the same sort of hoser role. It just completely hoses certain decks that abuse artifacts, and Torpor Orb hoses decks that have comes into play abilities. And I'd actually say that Torpor Orb doesn't do as good of a job as Stony Silence at shutting down certain decks. Torpor Orb's annoying, but most of the decks that Torpor Orb is a pain against, which is like Birthing Pod, you actually have answers for it. You can actually go and get cards that sack to kill an artifact, and just basically get rid of it, and it's not that big of a deal. So Torpor Orb is a pain in the butt for same as Soul Sisters. Like, people are like, oh, it shuts Soul Sisters down. Kind of, but one of the ways makes Soul Sisters so good is just the Spectral Processions plus Honor the Pure, and that does absolutely nothing to Spectral Procession on the Pure. Shuts down Squadron Hawk, shuts down the all the Soul Sisters and the Johnny's Pride Mate. Yeah, sure, it is annoying, but I'm not dead to Torpor Orb, and again, I've got answers to it in my sideboard and whatnot. A lot of decks like Tron, they do have answers for Stony Silence, but it's a hard time for them to find their answers when you pop down to turn 2 Stony Silence and Affinity 2. Affinity usually has 0 answers to Stony Silence, and it just kills their Cranial Platings, it kills their Steel Overseers, kills everything. And so I look at this. Torpor Orb is now a 3.9 ticket card, and historically went as low as 0.24. It didn't see any play for a long time. That 0.24 is probably rotation. Yep, let's see where the rotation was. Well, it started to actually go up about right after Avacyn Restored, which is what kind of phase we're in right now. Dragon's Mace just went up, and then it started going up because it was seeing a lot of play in both Standard and Modern at the time. So, and then it went back down at Return to Ravnica, but since then it has been a little bit of roller coastering, but it hasn't gone down since about 1.4. Like I said, when Pod is big, Torpor Orb will get very, very popular. When Tron is big, Stony Silence will get very, very popular. So Stony Silence is definitely my #1 pick for the moment for MTGO. All right, so let's go back to the cards that I'm going to pick up. So Gavin Township, Vault of the Archangel, Stony Silence are all very good cards to target right now. You could always target some popular Mythics. I think all of them will actually go down, so I actually wouldn't say target them. Snapcaster Mage, in my opinion, isn't a bad target because it sees so much play in Modern, and it will continue to see some Standard play before it rotates out. So it's definitely not a bad pickup. I think Champion of the Parish is actually too low right now because it does see a lot of Naya Blitz play, and you never know with Zathra Necromancer coming out, the one that says whenever a human goes to graveyard, you get a 2/2 zombie. I'm really thinking that black-white humans is going to be a thing. So don't discount Champion of the Parish. For that reason, don't discount Ratchet Bomb, because it is an answer to tokens. Yeah, there's a few other cards that you could easily target, but those are the ones that I personally am targeting. I'm targeting the Stony Silences, I'm targeting the Vault of the Archangels, and I'm targeting the Gavin Townships. I don't think you can go wrong with those cards.